go back in the room.
Exactly. And Christmas is a wonderful time of year.
Yes.
At least, well, you know what? Let's just back up a bit. Yeah. So Christmas is the most wonderful time of year, and it could be if ADHD wasn't constantly throwing festive curveballs into the holiday mix. But just to let
and it's
you know,
a big but.
Yeah, we are not starting off as always in the town hall.
No.
We are in the ADHDville town square.
Yes.
Where we're about to turn on the Christmas lights.
We're mixing it with the throngs in the town square.
All right, so
there's a smell of there's a smell of what's it called, the hot wine, mulled wine. The smell of mulled wine, roasted chestnuts.
Yep, It's the evening. There's lights. It's lovely. Everyone's out here, and we're all gathered around the tree waiting for the because it's our joint pleasure.
Yes.
To turn on the Christmas lights. Now, Paul, do you want to press the button?
I think did I press it last year? I think it's your turn.
Is it? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Right. Well, everyone at ADHDville, this is our Christmas lights. Press the button.
Special.
There we go.
Slippity.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Right. Let's just jump back into the car.
Yes.
And while we make our way back to the town hall, welcome to ADHDville.
Emotional.
Feeling it. Come on. It has to be. Look.
Ka-ching.
I always think if anyone does a Christmas special and they don't do their Christmas theme tune with their theme tune without sleigh bells, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's such an easy thing.
Even if it only has to be, it's like if someone does a Christmas song, like at least in the UK, it always had bells in it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow that sometimes you could write or you could sing about anything you want, but as long as you had the little sound of the bells, even really subtle, it made it a Christmas song.
Exactly. All right. So this is the bit where you introduce yourself.
Yes,
I'll introduce myself.
It is. I'm Paul Thompson, Martin, and I was diagnosed with the combined ADH and the D a bunch of months ago.
And I'm Martin Weston. I was diagnosed with the combined ADHD poo-poo platter 11 Christmases ago.
Crikey.
That's how long it's been. I know.
So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after 39 years of friendship, discovered that we're co-ADHDers.
Hurrah!
Yes. So, hurrah! No, it's really important to say that this is an entertainment podcast, Martin, about adult ADHD, and does not substitute for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. So don't take any advice from us, especially me.
None.
We're just here as a kind of all-inclusive ADHD park bench with room for everyone, including your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your buddy doublers, your chaperones, and your best bloodies. Still here to grab your sleighs, your toboggans, your flying snowmen, just grab onto their tailcoats and any other transportation methods that come to mind. And let us take you to ADHDville, an imaginary town that we've created in our minds, where we like to explore different parts of the A, the D, the H, and the D again.
Mm-hmm. And we start off, we started off in the town square, but we're now back in the town hall. And the meeting agenda is we're going to be talking about ADHD Christmas, the chaos, the joy, and everything in between. And then we've got a quiz.
Lovely.
Is it
Christmas? Is it a Christmas theme, Martin? The quiz?
It is a Christmas themed quiz because come on. All right. Well, Mayor Thompson, let's settle down in the mayor's office by the fire, and
settle down. Carry on.
Maybe an eggnog is that a how
eggnog?
are eggnogs
What?
for you?
Well, is there? Talk me through the eggnog. Is there an actual egg, or is it just or is it
yes.
a
There is also real nog in there as well.
What's the nog?
I don't know. Basically, I think it's like egg. I think there's some cream in there, and then you have to drip feed in like whiskey and brandy and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Very slowly. I have made it.
It sounds a bit like an alcoholic thing they do. It's an alcoholic thing they do in Italy. In Italy, it's called mascarpone, and it's very eggy. Mascarpone.
All right.
But usually it's like made when it's made properly. You make it at home, and it's like made with loads of egg yolks.
I do like mascarpone, I must say.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, let's get on cracking. Into Christmas when you have ADHD, because I don't know about you, Paul, but it's a mixed bag for me. It's a mixed bag.
Or a double-edged sword, I've written here.
Yeah. There's some ups and downs. There's some ins and outs. Yeah. There's some shake it's all about.
Toing and froing.
Right. So I've got a bit of a list here of things that kind of happen at Christmas. So I thought we would just kind of go down it and see if it kind of like springs up any memories or thoughts.
Yeah.
So I think the first one, which is in the preparation and planning section, is what's coming. I mean, there you go, prep and planning straight away. That is probably for me is like one of the big ones, one of the big problems.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I've got an anecdote or two.
Go on then.
I always left it to the last minute, obviously, and ended up spending, going around the shops like an idiot. I remember going around in London years ago like an idiot. I ended up spending a fortune.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I know.
God, is it the right
gesture? ADHD tax.
It's nice. Am I buying it for myself? Am I buying it for my girlfriend? Am I buying it for whoever? Or is it what is it? Is it the right gesture just because it's expensive? Oh, I don't know. Leave the shop, go look around, go back again. Right? And in the end, buying that thing, whether it's frigging appropriate or not, just because it's midnight by now and you've got to buy something.
You have to buy something, and you are suddenly willing to empty your credit card. I know.
Yeah.
I know, because I used to go for a number of years. I used to go Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve, right? Because, one, it was an ADHD last minute thing that I would kind of go, right, I've got an afternoon to get everyone's thing, right? So I'll be hyper focused and zoom in, and also everything. Not everything, but there's quite a lot of things were half price at that point because everyone had done their Christmas shopping. So I'll try and get stuff for a little bit less. But that is such a frantic and anxiety way to buy Christmas presents.
Did you have even a list though?
No, it was literally running to a shop that looked like, I could get my mum's present in here, and then just run around
the chemist.
And that's
a multi-pack.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
a 2-for-1 deal in Boots.
Yeah, no, you've just reminded me. My mum back in the 70s, she was so angry because my aunt, so it would be her aunt, I guess. Actually, gave her a tea towel for Christmas. Right. It was just a tea towel. And when she told other family members, 2 others got a tea towel, right? And she worked out that it was a buy one get 2 free tea towel deal that my aunt had somehow got, and then she split the 3 tea towels and gave everyone a tea towel.
Nice.
Yeah, my mum She was so annoyed.
Talking about, I don't know where Boots came out into the conversation.
Boots the chemist.
My Boots the chemist. Well, if you're American or non-English, Boots, they're like a chain.
CVS or a Walgreens.
Right. They were like a chain, what do you call it? A franchise, like chain chemist pharmacy, right? Yeah. My parents bought me a turntable from Boots. I kid you not. Right? Unwrapped it. Yeah. Unwrapped it. It's like, oh, it's a turntable and it's from Boots. Okay, all right. So my sister's like, oh, she's got a similar looking size box. Oh, surely it's not another Boots turntable. It only was. It's another Boots turntable for my sister too. Right?
Nice.
Yeah. Save some arguments.
You know what? I was just gonna say, at least you all got the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
That's funny. What about so if you can shopping early, I try and shop early. I also try and shop online as early as I can. And have where are we now? We're recording this on December the 11th. Have I bought anything? I bought 2 things out of a list of about 8 things I have to get. So I've started.
You started. What is it? You've got a couple of weeks here because we're recording this earlier, folks. I know. You know.
All right. Let's get on to go on.
We should. I think it would have been easier for ADHDers during the Tudor period, Martin.
Why?
Because I just happened to be listening to a podcast this morning, and the kings and queens in the Tudor period, like your King Henrys and Anne Boleyns, they gave everyone their Christmas list of what they were expected to receive from their various people, depending on their pecking order. Right? They didn't leave it to chance. No.
Oh no!
Things like, and they were really specific. They found these lists that she gave out. One of them, one fashionable item at the time, was bejeweled toothpicks.
Wow!
So, just say, Martin, if you're still thinking about what to buy me for Christmas, a bejeweled toothpick would go down fine and dandy.
Let me just write that down.
Write it down.
All right.
Write it down.
All right. How do you feel about decorating the house and the tree and all of that?
Made at home.
Made at home ornaments.
Made at home ornaments.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm working with my kids at the moment at school with conversation in English, and we're talking about upcycling, and because of the time of the year, they were like coming in. They brought them in. Some of the stuff that they've made with their parents for Christmas decorations, and they're so amazing. They're so cool. You know, like things made out of toilet rolls and all kinds of stuff, but really precious to them.
Oh wow!
They're really, really precious things, you know. And I said to them at the end of it, thanks everyone. It was really good. We all clapped everything. I said, keep hold of these things. Keep hold of them. They may seem like silly little things, but you'll remember these things that you made with your parents and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So we get our tree. So we have on the weekend after Thanksgiving. So there's Thanksgiving on a Thursday, and then between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we will get the tree. So that's like right at the beginning of December.
And was it last year you bought a slightly oversized tree, or
I may have? It might have been a bit too big. Yeah. I think we can just about take an 8-foot tree, and then if it gets to 9 foot, then it starts to poke into the ceiling. The old angel at the top gets a crooked neck from being shoved up against the
develops
ceiling.
a tick.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, that is I actually like the decorating the tree because we do, because to your point, we do have ornaments that we've been given or collected over the years, and you kind of put them up again. You go, oh, look, there's that one from 5 years ago or whatever.
I was always known
nice.
I was always known to be a Grinch, and but at the same time, I was always the first. I was the person that was asked in all the family. I was the one that they asked to decorate the tree because I was the best at decorating the tree.
Paul's artistic. He could do the tree. He'll
Artistic.
do it nice.
Yeah,
he'll do it right, good and proper.
Go on in, my boy.
Yeah.
Maybe
Here's
it's because I was the lightest. I was the only one who could climb to the top and put the angel on the top.
Let's put Paul on top of the Christmas tree this year. That would be great.
Let's go. But the thing is, I was thinking about this morning. I think that pretty much around Christmas was the only time that all the family got together and actually made stuff or did stuff together. The only time.
Right.
That was the only time. And like, it was weird. Like my parents, they made like the nativity scene and made out of plasticine. And it's so unlike them. It's completely unlike them at all. Never, there was never any other example like that ever, unless it was at Christmas.
There is something about the people you see day in, day out, right? You have this routine, right, of all these routines with everyone, and then Christmas Day is different. It's like a whole different schedule, routine. Everyone's doing something that is like very different from the normal
rule book. Gets thrown out.
Yeah, and then it's chaos. Here's one: writing and sending Christmas cards. Oh boy. I think I must fail at this almost every year. Almost every year, I fail to write and send out cards.
Not only do I fail it, my father writes to me and reminds me that I failed at it.
Pow! Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. They say, did you send cards
once again
to
Paul,
people that I haven't met?
I am disappointed in you.
Yes.
Once again. This is the 20th year on the trot. Oh boy.
What a disappointment, you know. I've got like 24 tattoos. So disappointment for him is like, you know, it's like, you know, a runaway train. But he's still say, so Paul, did you send a card to Bob and Betty this year? No, Dad, I haven't seen him in 30 years. You get that. What about to Eddie and Miriam? No, Dad. Are they still alive? Yeah, they're still alive.
Yeah.
And God, shaming. They're shaming.
Right, because it reflects badly on him as a dad, right? That he hasn't he hasn't raised his son proper.
Yeah. Well, he'll say things. He'll make it voice it up the stakes. Said, "Come on, Paul. You know that they've got a soft spot for you."
Oh, really? Am I in their will? No.
No. But he's given up on it now. I think he's just given up on it. But I'm not. I think it comes down to the ADHD thing. The what's it called? I've never bought into the card thing. I've never bought into it. Literally and metaphorically, because I just, apart from the what's it called, you know, if they're not there in front of me, you know, if I'd rather call them and say hello, object permanence. You know, it's like, what's a card? You go into a card shop, you spend a frigging fortune with something you didn't even write. You know.
Well, I've gone above and beyond.
Have you?
So I've gone above and beyond for one person. So our next door neighbour, I've actually hand drawn their card. It's of their house. I've done an illustration of their house.
That's
in a
different.
Snow scene,
right? Oh, handmade cards. That's a whole different thing. Yeah. But the last time I sent cards, I made them with my son. We made them all together and we sent them all off. That was the last time. I think that was about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Handmade.
There we go. That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So, what about wrapping presents? How do you feel about that? Because it's either like, I feel like it's one of those things that you have to like almost like hyper focus on all in one go. Like I tend to get
I'm good
all
at
the
it.
gifts.
Yeah.
Right. And you just like,
I'm good at it.
Oh, you are good at it. All right.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Do you wrap
not like
as you
my
go?
grandmother. What?
Do you wrap as you go, or do you just do it all in one? Do you get all the gifts and then yeah.
All
anyway,
in one go, like Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Oh yes, no, I have definitely wrapped up presents on Christmas Day. Literally,
I think
it's Christmas Day, and I've upstairs wrapping stuff and then bringing it downstairs.
Yeah. Or I'm sitting around the tree. People started giving their presents out. I'm thinking, oh, not only did I forget to put the thing under the tree, I haven't even wrapped it yet.
Yeah.
That's
happened. Really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's special. Yeah. You were about to say about your grandma. So,
she was a really bad rapper. And I don't mean like Snoop Dogg. Dr. Dre.
Here I am wrapping up my gifts.
Trying to think of a quick name to give it. Got DJ Colostomy.
Oh blimey, yeah, DJ Wrinkly. Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. All right. Let's talk about the other big thing of Christmas, which is family and other animals. Having all those people around that you have to you have to who you haven't seen for a while probably, and you have to do all the talking and the catching up stuff.
And this is where I'm kind of interested to know your take on this. This is where unmasking really comes it's like right there. It's like I wonder if you have every right in these kind of situations to absolutely mask the hell out of the whole day or the whole time,
Yeah. There is a lot of masking going on.
Especially because, and you've probably got fathers, mothers, siblings that are, maybe in denial, think, well, he's got ADHD, but I haven't, and I won't entertain any conversation about it. Or they're just not ready to, you just instinctively think they're just not ready to take that on. Or you just don't want to have that conversation.
Right? Oh, yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I keep all Christmas conversations light and fluffy and and
even after because there's booze involved, right? I mean, there's booze involved. It's like
booze. Everyone's weird.
You have a wee dram, and then start conversations go a bit.
And I find that the old I can remember. When my granddad was alive, I can remember one Christmas. I'm thinking it was I must have been about 12 or 13 or something, and I'm there and I'm unwrapping my gifts, and that thing of when you unwrap your gifts. I don't know about you, but it's usually it's the first thing that we do in the morning, and we're not and we're not even addressed, right? We're literally in our pajamas, and I'm unwrapping my gifts, and I look up, and my granddad's there, and he's in his PJs, and he's got his legs open, and he's got his Christmas plums hanging out of his.
No, this is weird. This is weird. I had the same situation.
It's like, oh God.
I had the same.
Did you?
I had exactly the same. wasn't even my granddad. It's someone else's
granddad.
He was crouching down with his tackle hanging out.
Oh, on Christmas Day.
Well, how weird is that?
On Christmas Day in the morning.
It took the kind of, it took the shine off the, the present opening.
I know. I know. It's like, oh God, that just turned my stomach.
Well, how that can't be just a coincidence. It's like, comments please from anyone else in our community. She's like, yeah, see you happen here.
Yeah, you see, that's what happens. You see, you have old people who are used to living on their own, who then forget somehow, and then they're kind of like, yeah.
Did you have strange? Did you have any relatives that had strange Christmas habits?
None particularly come to mind.
I didn't. My auntie Anne, who's she died last year. Bless her. She was a lovely lady. She was brilliant. She always insisted that her Christmas morning breakfast was champagne and smoked salmon. And I've never heard anyone else do that. But champagne lovely.
Smoked salmon. Oh yeah.
Christmas morning.
Oh yeah. No,
and swearing like a trooper. She was always a swearer, which always delighted me.
Oh yeah, I bet. Now then, all the other big one is like the cooking and the food part.
Yes.
Which you know what
quite a lot on this.
Which if you're just sitting there consuming, then it's great. But if you're like me, I can eat. I can almost spend half my Christmas Day in the kitchen.
Yeah,
cooking, prepping, washing up. Like it seems to be like, and all the planning of all the food and and it's so easy to go nuts, right? Because it's like, even if you have carrots, they have to be like the best carrots or the best peas or the best whatever it is. It has to be the best version of that thing, and it all takes time, and you end up like with all these cooking all this stuff, and it kills you.
But that's the thing I always found is like, there's always, for me, there was like always the amazing parts of Christmas, like Christmas pudding, which I'm making tonight. Actually, I'm making my Christmas pudding tonight, 2 weeks in advance. So it's time to, to settle and everything, right? So really nice things like Christmas pudding and custard and stuff. The satsuma, the best thing ever. But then there's people who think that their mums cook the best roast dinners in the world. And then you go around there. Or like I had a neighbor, but they were like really good neighbors and, friends and everything. The son always used to say, "Oh, Paul, my mum's Yorkshire pudding's the best thing in the world." And you go around there for lunch, kind of like G'd up and everything. And it was the worst thing in the world. Oh my! It was inedible. Everyone, I think everyone's convinced that their mum's or their grandmother's food is the best. And I think it's just like nostalgia, because sometimes, not always, of course, but sometimes it's like, oh God, this is the worst. Like vegetables cooked within an inch of their lives,
Oh no, yeah. And that's the thing for like, like if you're called picky eaters, but if you've got like, kids who've got safe foods and stuff, or if you're used to food in a certain way, and then you have to go around someone else's house on Christmas Day and they've got none of that stuff, because you can't have pasta. No. You have to have turkey and stuffing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Or
it's
some
like you're
people have
forced
apple
to
sauce.
eat.
Or, and it's like, it's a tradition in our family, and you like feel like you're obliged. Cranberry sauce,
which I do like. But yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, if the kids want to eat pasta, and then fine. You know what I mean? Don't force it on.
I've got a thing here, Martin,
Yes.
about this discussion about. Hang on, I'm scrolling. About misophonia, which is the kind of thing that some people are triggered by certain noises, sounds, right? Can be like eating sounds. If you're like, because Christmas is quite excessive time, drinking and eating. Some people are like loud eaters.
Yeah.
Right. They like chew really loudly, or they eat with their mouths open and stuff. And I was looking into it actually because I don't want to take it. It's there's a funny side to it, but there's some people I was reading that are not just triggered by it; they have seriously aggressive reaction to certain noises, even what for us would be like just irritating. For some people, they can have a violent reaction to it.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
People chomping.
I can feel quite angry. I mean, like, speaking of sounds, like, when you're going out anywhere, there's the same Christmas songs played over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, bells and sleigh bells and
certain songs like the Mariah Carey one.
Yep.
Over and over again.
I do like the day after Christmas Day because I think, all of that's gone. It's all gone.
Yeah.
All those Christmas songs suddenly go away, thankfully.
But are they?
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes there's a carryover. At least in Italy, there is. You generally get the Christmas songs even up until like a couple of days before New Year.
Right, because in fact,
in a shopping centre or something.
The Christian calendar, the 12 days of Christmas or whatever, it goes beyond Christmas and goes into the new year. So in theory, on the Christmas calendar for Christians, it does extend way out past the actual day itself. Although
that was another Tudor thing. The 12 days.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Literally parting, for us it's like tricky, spending a few hours with the parents and stuff. In the Tudor period, medieval, it literally was 12 days solid partying. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
12 days.
And in fact, there was this weird thing, I think, where people would dress up in like macabre, weird costumes and masks. Right. And then you'd go round strangers' houses.
Yeah.
And then you had to feed them or entertain them.
Right.
So you would basically just go around in this gang causing chaos.
Oh, it's a Scottish thing. That's a Scottish thing.
I think it was that.
Yeah, and you were expected to feed them or give them a drink. Yeah.
All right.
Because the reason I looked up misphonia, Martin, is because I've got a particular very niche phobia for a certain word associated with Christmas.
Okay.
And it's like at the back of my throat at the moment, and I know I've got to say it because otherwise, it wouldn't be part of this podcast.
Tinsel?
No. Close. The right word. The right beginning. T begins with a T. Trimmings.
Oh, hang on. It's the whole phrase. The whole phrase with all the trimmings.
Yes.
I think we may have had this conversation before, because the American version of that is with all the fixings.
Well, that's plumbing, isn't it?
Fixings? Yeah, I don't know. I think it implies that something is bust or broken, and then you have to fix it by putting all the things on it.
We have had this conversation. Yeah, I think we had it. But Yeah, but the all the what's it? I can't remember it better actually. Trimmings, trimmings. God, I hate that word. It really. It's like it's a family joke that everyone knows. I hate that word.
Yeah, yeah. So they obviously say it a lot. Paul, can you pass me the trimmings?
Yeah.
Oh man.
On the food, well, right on the kind of excessive food thing, I thought we'd have a little conversation about, there's like chocolate assortments, or there's like packs that we used to get in the 1980s, probably still do. We used to get like a
used
pack.
To get candy bars.
It was standard, yeah.
Candy bars.
So we used to get like the Mars, a Mars bar, and what else was in there? There was usually there was some standard ones in there, and then you get one. What was it? You get a Mars bar. You get a fudge bar.
A Milky Way, perhaps.
Probably a Milky
Twix,
Way,
perhaps. But yeah, it was like it was sometimes the ones I remember. It was like shaped like a stocking, like a Christmas stocking, and then you had in blister pack. You had about 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Chocolate,
but there was always one in there that nobody wanted.
All right.
Or at least in mine, the Fry's Turkish Delight.
Oh, I love that one. Come on,
you like that?
Absolutely.
Really, you like Fry's Turkish Delight?
I like a bit of Fry's Turkish Delight. Fry's Turkish Delight.
We've been friends for 35 years. How is that possible?
Afternoon delight. I know. Yeah. Well, I would happily scoff up anyone's.
Really?
Yeah. Discarded Turkish Delight.
Wow. It's tasted always chemical to me. Maybe that was your.
It does have a sort of a soapy.
Yes.
There's a bit of soapiness to it, which I quite like. And don't take that to mean that when I have a shower in the morning, I'm there sucking on my soap bar.
No, I think I will take it very literally, Martin.
All right. How about Christmas presents, right? Christmas presents, opening them in front of the person that gave you the Christmas present.
Like the granddad with his tackle out.
Yeah, no one needs to open up that Christmas present.
Right.
I always like. There is always a bit of a sort of a performance to go through when you open it up, and the person's looking at you opening it up, and you go, "Oh, look, it's a
right,
it's a woolly hat. Oh, thank you, Uncle Bob."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's a pair of socks,
and like it was really like a bit of a test of your masking skills. If you were kind of getting like a really dud gift, you know what I mean? It's like, oh no, I don't want this mug that says.
I did have a dud gift once from my dad, and it was, I think it was a couple of years after the turntable from Boots the Chemist.
Right. And you got some speakers. You went, oh, finally.
It was some vinyl, I think. And it was a remote control aeroplane.
What?
Yeah. And I thought, oh, great. So then I was like twiddling my thumbs, I was still still contemplating, what it was going to be like to play with my aeroplane. By that time, my dad had already gone out into because where we were spending Christmas, they had a big garden. He'd taken it out and he tried to get it to work. It didn't work. He said it was broken. And he said, oh, don't worry, son. I'll get it replaced and get you something else. I'm still waiting, Dad. I'm still waiting, Dad, for that replacement.
Wow. Kids don't forget.
I'm not forgotten. I'm still waiting eagerly.
You mean, I think that he busted it. I think he broke it.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Maybe it was an empty box. I never actually saw the plane.
Oh, what? Oh, you mean you basically unwrapped it and then he whisked it from you? and ran out into the back garden.
He showed everyone a clean pair of heels out in the garden.
Was gone.
Testing it. Wee! He probably crashed it.
Right.
It's probably someone's tree even to this day.
Yep. It's stuck up a tree.
Oh, sorry, son. There. It didn't work. I'll get you another one.
No, because he
shame.
Because he bloody crashed it. That's what happened. He went up in the air and then he crashed it, and then that was it.
Yeah,
the end.
That was it.
Just admit it, Dad.
I was always generally the presents were really disappointing.
I know. One year I got a bike and that was good.
Oh yes, actually no, I'm talking not. Once got Lego that actually moved. You know that point where Lego really from just that period of time when Lego wasn't just blocks anymore, and you got moving bits.
Oh wow!
And that was that. I remember opening that present. Like, oh my god, I could do Lego and it can move.
Nice.
Have you
got any? I've got a couple of bits of advice to wrap things up, but have you got? Is there anything else that you want to cover off?
Cover off. Oh, I don't remember. Christmas. I think that's it.
Christmas time. All right. Well, I've got some advice about how to survive the ADHD Christmas, which is, let go of it being perfect, right? Nothing, it can't all be perfect. Like, it just puts too much anxiety and pressure on yourself if you're trying to make a perfect Christmas. So ask yourself, what's the one thing that will make Christmas special, and just kind of concentrate on that. On that nice. One thing.
Nice.
And then when it comes to like decorating and all of that, don't go mad. Pick on some things. You're not in some, because you're not in, like how you have. You have there's this kind of competition with the people in your street, right? Yeah. And to kind of like have a really nice Christmas decorations out the front. I think that's a real American, especially an American thing.
More American, probably, yeah. Well, I think as we were saying at the beginning, if you make your decorations even better, they could become really precious things. Really personal.
Yeah, no, that sounds really nice.
I've got something here as well, Martin. About go on. Like, have you ever spent Christmas by yourself?
I'm just trying to think. No, I don't think I have. I was in China for a year, but I think I came back for Christmas. Yeah.
Because I mean, everyone's personal. I think for some people, it's a. If there are people out there who will be spending Christmas by themselves, unfortunately. I personally spent Christmas 2 years by myself in Palermo, and I was fine. It really didn't bother me whether Christmas happened or not. It didn't make me feel, oh God, I'm so lonely. No, it didn't at all.
Right.
But for some people, that's not the case at all. So, but no. I don't know. I think there's a lot of the great things you do. You can go and volunteer, which I think is a really cool thing. There's a lot of people that volunteer around Christmas. Right. Give out maybe hot meals to homeless people. Right. There's a lot of really cool things you can do.
Right, but you have to get in early. I found you can't just rock up. Oh God, yeah. You can't just kind of rock in and go, hey. Do you need a hand? No, because there is there's a fierce competition to kind of get into that game.
Is there?
Yeah. You have to be on your A game to do that. So
probably doesn't help if you're a Grinch like me. It's like, oh, Grinch, no, get at the back of the queue, matey.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Me rocking up in the Grinch suit. No.
Yeah. When it comes to food, like as I said, like it's always tempting to make every single part of the food the most brilliant thing that version of that food it could ever be. Whereas actually you should try and keep the food a bit more sort of manageable, things that involve as little prep as possible.
Came to mind actually. The thing that I think I liked most about Christmas were the games we used to play. We used to play card games, quite traditional thing in our family. Loved that.
Games. Which
it wasn't the food, it wasn't the presents, it wasn't the booze. It's like sitting around a table all together and playing a game. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Until it breaks out into an argument. But hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finding quiet time amidst all the chaos, right? I mean, that's.
Sorry, say again.
Finding quiet time amidst all the chaos, and in fact, just if you do feel like you are going to be overwhelmed, then it's better just to tell everyone, look, I might be a bit overwhelmed, so I might just go off up into the into a separate room for a bit.
I've just started doing that, and because we've got a Christmas dinner with not the first part of the family, just like different parts of the family, and we move around and just eat wherever you go. And there's one where I was there last year and the year before, and it's just it gets too much for me at a certain point. And now I know after my diagnosis for ADHD, it's just because of the reverberation of all the voices, just the chaos. And at a certain point, usually after about 2 hours, I have to get out.
Right.
And this is an interesting thing. It's like one of those delicate things about, when do you go out? Should you feel like you should have to give an excuse? Or should you just hope that people, have a minimum of empathy and think, okay, maybe it's just not something, that they can is easy for them or whatever.
I know, because it's like everyone wants you to have a good time, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants you to have a good time. And part of that for me, and I think, for you and other people, is spending 10 or 15 minutes away from everyone is having a good time.
Yeah.
That is me having a good time by myself, so that I can kind of come back and have a good time with you guys, and then go away again and have a good time over in being by myself.
It's like the rest of the year, but like in a like a macro situation, isn't it? It's like the whole year condensed into one day. Yeah. And you shouldn't have to pretend that it's any different, or maybe you should. I don't know.
Yeah.
But most of us do. I pretend. After about 3 hours of thinking, God, I want to get out of here, and I don't want to piss my parents off. It's like, oh,
all right. Okay. I've just got one last point, which is under the just be kind to yourself. Which is if it doesn't go as planned, just remind yourself that it's about connection and not perfection. It's just about those moments, like you're saying, like playing games, with the rest of your family. It's just about trying to get yourself in a good place. If you do have to spend a little bit of time away, so that you can come back and enjoy being with your kids or your dad or your aunt or whatever. Just kind of spend that time, because actually when I think about it, I can remember a couple of years ago, my son was like, "Oh, Christmas is really dull, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I can see why." I think he was just sort of the age, like you get in that teens where like Christmas is boring. And I said, one day you'll look back at that Christmas and wish that you could have that day again. Like, you would give anything to have the Christmas that you just had and you thought was boring, to have that one more time. And I think back to kind of like Christmases when I was a kid, when I had, some of my aunts and my uncles were alive, and, and I would, And I'd love to kind of go back to an old Christmas and kind of chat to my granddad.
True, actually. For me, Christmas is sometimes about seeing friends or parts of the family that you only ever saw at Christmases, funerals, bar mitzvahs, or baptisms, And so there was like the example I gave to you before was like my Auntie Anne. She was just a joy to me, and it was just just a huge amount of fun and a lot of laughs, And as I said, it was special because it was sometimes the only time I get to see them.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Nice. All right. Well, I think we are going to transition to the quiz part, which I promised earlier. I think we can just basically just let's just jump in the car and let's go to the coffee place and get ourselves a festive drink.
All right.
So we just bring the car around. There we go. Jump in and let's go. All right. Are we interested in a festive drink, Mr. T?
I'm going to have a glass of your I can't remember what it is in English. Vin brûlé in Italian. Vin brûlé.
Okay.
The cinnamon thing with the oh God,
I don't know.
Hot wine thing.
Oh, mulled wine.
Mulled wine. Love.
Yes, I will join you in a nice little mulled wine, which
warms the cockles.
Which I do make, not every year, but some years I do, because if you have like mulled wine on, you got some wine, you got cinnamon sticks in there and cloves and all sort of and oranges.
The cloves,
oh God, the house smells amazing.
Yeah,
the whole house just smells like
yeah,
it smells so good.
Oh, the cloves. Why? You only get. Why don't we have cloves in the other time of the year? Why is it?
I know, right?
It's weird.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I them out just for Christmas.
Right. I have a Christmas cracker for you to pull. Oh. So if you don't know what if you don't know what a Christmas cracker is, it's a classic English thing where you have this tube and two people pull it and then it breaks apart with a snap sound and then there's a joke inside and a little toy, a crappy little toy, which is usually like a little sewing kit. This is in the posh ones. It'd be like a sewing kit, a small screwdriver.
Yeah. Isn't that? It's just another example of like how Christmas breaks the rules. It's just bizarre thing. The cracker.
Yeah,
a very bizarre thing.
It was invented in 1845. Nice. It's funny because most of the things that we think about as being Christmassy was all invented by the Victorians in the space of about 10 years. It's almost like they kind of invented the whole thing in a very short amount of time.
They did a lot of that, didn't they? They did a lot of like they invented. There's a lot of Scottish kind of iconography and Welshography, but actually invented by the Victorians and just didn't exist at all.
All right, well, let's pull the Christmas cracker.
Yes,
just makes that sound right, and you have a joke inside. Oh, right. So let me tell you the joke. What goes? Oh.
French Santa Claus.
It's Santa walking backwards.
My God, that's good actually.
Yes, that's a good one.
That's nice. I like that.
Crisp, and
that was a kind of classic thing that you would have in a cracker,
right? You have these bad jokes, but I know because I looked up best Christmas cracker jokes, and that was in there.
I remember when my family got to a point where we were buying Marks and Spencer's crackers. So, like, if you don't know, if you're outside the UK, Marks and Spencer's is like a slightly more expensive place to where you go and buy your food.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you've arrived,
You've
ooh,
arrived, but when
Marks
you
and
have to,
Spencer's.
I know, but it's always a bit
Ridiculous,
crap.
really.
Always the
It's
same
always
crap.
crap.
And on the other side of the joke, I have a fun fact, a fun Christmas fact. It says here, what does the term Xmas stand for? Like we have Christmas, but in the UK especially, we'll spell it Xmas, Xmas. And
I
apparently
guess
the
it's because
X
it comes from cross. It's a cross that is swiveled around. Crossmas.
Nice thinking. You are very close. Well, you're close in that X is derived from the Greek letter chi, which is the first letter in the Christ. So the Greek letter chi, which is and chri is yes, yeah. So that's where the S comes from. X comes from. It's a Greek thing, right?
Okay.
On to the quiz. On to the Christmas quiz, Paul.
Yes.
All right, we have 4 questions. So let's see how you do. Right, here's the first question.
Usually quite badly.
You have 3 answers, right? Possible answers.
Right.
Multiple choice. First one. What Christmas song was the first to be broadcast from space? Was it Jingle Bells?
Yeah.
Was it Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt? Or was it Happy Christmas, War is Over by Lennon and Yoko Ono?
I've got a funny story about that. My mother bought from my grandmother a Don Williams album, right, for her birthday, because my grandmother liked Don Williams, and my grandmother said she'd have to take it back. She said, "Why?" She said, "It's actually, in reality, it's you by mistake you've given me an Eartha Kitt album." So that's a bit strange. So she took it back to this record shop, and the guy said, "I think your mother's been playing it at the wrong speed."
Oh, there we go.
It was Don Williams, and it was supposed to be played at 33. She was playing it at 45. It sounded like Eartha Kitt.
There you go. Unbelievable.
Bobby and Eartha Kitt. I'm gonna go for Eartha Kitt because out of the 3, it's the most ridiculous.
All right. Well, it was actually Jingle Bells. It was played by astronauts aboard the Gemini 6 in 1965. But I did include Eartha Kitt there because I knew that you had an Eartha Kitt story. So I slipped that one in.
You didn't. Oh, come on.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Number 2. What
you knew that song? You knew that story?
Yes. You have told me that a long time before, like decades ago.
Good memory.
I know. What popular Christmas gift became a huge craze in 1996? Was it A?
What popular gift?
Yeah,
popular gift?
like how every year there is there'd be one toy that would blow up and become really popular.
Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Right, and right. So
Stretch Armstrong.
Right. So what was the huge craze in 96? I actually have A, Stretch Armstrong.
No.
Was it B, Beanie Babies? Or was it C, Tickle Me Elmo? So 1996. Stretch Armstrong,
Elmo.
Beanie Babies, Tickle Me
Elmo.
And you'd be correct.
Oh, 96. There you go.
Stretch Armstrong was big in 1976, and the Beanie Babies were big in 95, but Tickle Me Elmo was big in 1996. All right, let's go history. History back. Which English ruler officially banned Christmas in 1647? Was it A, Oliver Cromwell, B, King Henry VIII, or C, Pope Festivus III?
What year was it?
1647.
It's too late for Henry VIII. Too late for
Oliver
Cromwell as well.
Or was
I think
it Pope?
It's got to be the Pope.
Pope Festivus for the rest of us, the third. Yeah. It was actually Oliver Cromwell.
Oh, blimey. Okay.
I was thinking that Pope Festivus was going to be like an obvious red herring, like Festivus.
Not for me.
For the rest of us. What?
For not for me, it wasn't.
No. All right, so you've got two wrong, one right, and we've got this last one. So if you get this right, you can level it, right?
I'm going to concentrate. This is me concentrating.
What was the first artificial Christmas tree made from? The first artificial Christmas tree. Was it A, pine cones and wire? Was it B, paper mache?
Yes.
Or was it C, goose feathers dyed green? Was it pine cones and wire, paper mache, or goose feathers dyed green?
I can see what you're doing now. I'm kind of like, I'm getting to know you're sneaky. You're very sneaky. Because you know that I'm going to be drawn towards the goose.
All right.
And I'm going for the goose.
And you'd be correct.
Oh.
You'd be absolutely correct. So you come out with your head held high. So the early Christmas tree. So this in the early 19th century was invented by a German city councillor named Friedrich Wilhelm II. He wanted a Christmas tree that wasn't going to catch fire, because they used to put candles on Christmas trees. That on the actual tree itself. So there was a good chance that the whole thing was going to go up in flames. So he decided that he was going to get goose feathers and dye them green and make an artificial one so that it didn't catch fire.
Well, of course, other than catching fire, there was until a certain point, candles were made with animal fat.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because there was like the first proper Kubrick film that I can't remember the name of. He wanted to like be completely authentic with the lighting, so he had hundreds of candles made with animal fat to light the scene, right? And after half an hour, everyone ran out because of the stench. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Wow. Well, the popularity of artificial Christmas trees didn't take off until the mid-20th century, which is partly due to a shortage of trees during World War II.
Ooh.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Kaboom.
Nice.
Kaboom. Nice. All right. Okay. Well, we are already up on our hour, so
yes.
We'll save the feedback for the next time.
Yes.
So let's just leave me to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most Christmassy. Feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you wish to see our beautiful faces, sally forth to the YouTubes and the TikTokies.
Sally Fields.
And you can also pick up a quill and email us at adhdville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, during this Christmas period, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHDs, know thy tinsely selves, sons of the baubles, come hither and get the pudding.
Lovely.
There, says the mayor. That's that.